We do the department heads. James Masters is first. You have anything we need to know other than what you've made your request?
I've kept it the same as last year. The only thing I'm looking at is with that third training requirement, I've completed mine. That will drop the travel down. I'm gonna hold the office one because I want to make sure that I can cover Brian when he goes to do that iteration of training there. So I'm probably gonna end up with about maybe 200 or 300 left over at the end of the year. That's about it. But I'll be able to expend that office-wise because I try to get some extra paper towards the end of the year.
And then I would assume that, okay. I got you.
It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, and I'll be upfront, if they put more requirements on us next year, I may have to come ask the court for additional
Travel, yeah.
travel. Because they are really changing requirements on us. Regulationally, the VA is a nightmare when it comes to.
So they don't charge you for the training, it's just the travel?
It's really just travel. The only one that does have a tuition fee is our national one, but we can do that virtually, so we're able to get a discount. If they come to Texas, so we would like to give it that, and it's the last time we got one of the best training we ever have. Every one of the secretaries and the major players that we have to fight against in the federal system, it's nice to be able to ask them why.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, we appreciate what you did. As I said yesterday, that's a $7,000 a year in travel is a pretty good investment. All right, you have any questions for him?
We're going to expect 2481 yet this year, but next year you said no change.
That is the problem we have when it comes down to it because of the changes we go through. Of course, most of the stuff evolved when we had the shutdown, so we always look bad during that. So.
Right. All right, thank you. Brenda Art. Sharon, I was gonna tell you that two people ahead of you, Jennifer and Don King, are not gonna do today.
Okay.
And so we'll probably scoot you up to 11:15.
Good morning, how are you? I am I'm not asking for anything different except for my professional fees. Right now, it is stated at 300. And I would like to ask for 500, only for the fact that I'm paying my professional fees and my, state fees out of that. But everything else looks good. On the, election worker salaries, I had asked for 80,000 last year, we stayed at 60,000. And I have cut as many as I can, trying to just get 4 to come in instead of 6 at each one. And I'm proud to say I've only done over $700. And that was extra voting, which we will have in November of this year, but I believe I can keep it under that 60,000.
Okay. Now, somebody had handwritten,
Yeah, there's some numbers.
there's some numbers that are handwritten out to the side. I don't know if
And
that's you
this
or
is-
the auditor.
Well, what I had written down is even number of years, how we have 3 to 4 elections. So that would be more in election workers, but we're going into an odd year.
Okay, it's out to the side, it's handwritten, and I don't know if you did this or someone else. For seasonal and part-time salary, it's got 30,000, the election worker salary is 45. Is that somebody else's handwriting?
Okay, so
I'm not all again scratching. It was like I did.
I did not write.
You did not, okay,
I did
okay.
not write
She
that,
must
sir.
have thought that, well, that's telephone.
Well, telephone, no weakness.
No, it's postage because we did go over on postage.
She did adjust the postage for a lot of this because we don't have a clue.
I know, but what I'm really, my biggest question is that does election worker salaries,
Right here.
this year it's currently 60 and somebody has handwritten 45.
Yes, sir, that is my writing, only for the
That's
fact.
for the odd year, it's just
We-
not right.
Exactly, that's the odd year because we're only gonna have 2 elections.
Okay.
But when we have the even, it's gonna be 3 to 4 elections. We're now mandated that 1 week, 7 to 7, and weekends as well. And that's in the even November will probably be 3 weeks of early voting plus mandated weekends. But I'm pretty sure I can do that.
Can we look at your postage for a second?
The postage, it shows to be 3,000.
No, wait a minute.
I'm sorry, 3,500 here.
Yeah, well, right above it, the postage, though, it's got
Well, she
actual
raises-
year
she
date,
raises
$12,000,
those for us
$1,179.
Yes, I can explain that, Mr. Kelton, is because we have a mass mail out every odd year. And it's like, I don't even remember. Oh, I don't know about it.
Well, I'm saying, so what do we need to do about that?
This year will be nothing, this budget will be nothing because I will not do a mass mail out.
Okay,
I will do a mass mail out for 2020.
we'll just have to adjust your last, just.
Telephone is what she.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
6,000 is enough.
Yes, sir.
It may have to average out. So the telephone, though, we've kind of taken that over and didn't we roll all the telephones over together, so you shouldn't, I'm not sure how they're breaking that out, but
Well, she's trying to,
Can I
she does that
approach?
for us, to show
that's
you.
what Jesse's doing. Okay.
They still have to charge each department.
I just wondered if that was something that.
This is my postage and this is our mass mail out. And this is what we got. And that is what I went over for the fact that we had a mass mail out. It was 10,000, over 10,000. So in this budget year, we will not need that. And telephone. Oh, why should we- I
She
don't-
does that.
Okay,
All of
okay.
ours, she does that to telephone and postage. Because we
Okay.
don't have a clue, because we don't.
No, we don't budget, we don't set
don't need to
our
get the
budget
bill.
for telephone or postage, that's
Goes straight to
auditor's
Saying
just
that's the-
standard.
Yeah, she takes care of that just to make it budget.
All right,
Make it work.
I hear you. Maintenance. Maintenance has got bumped up to 50, or 37.5, and got actual budget 26, is that?
I can explain that, sir.
I just want to understand it all.
When I had taken over, I was not aware, nor was there any place for me to find. We have, let me find it for you, I have it all written down here. We have a $20,000 bill that we pay maintenance to both the Hart. Then we have a $10,000 that I was not aware of. And that is a yearly fee, the $10,000 and the $21,000.
Oh, I thought that would be under,
That is their maintenance to us.
That's not building maintenance.
yeah, so
Machine
that's a different kind of maintenance.
Yes,
And we're still looking at the roof.
thank you, I appreciate that. I keep track of everything as close as I can.
Yeah, and this is just labeled as maintenance, let me think. Right, that makes it
Maybe equipment maintenance.
Oh, okay, see, all of this stuff that she's giving us is attached to your packet.
Yes,
easy. Is that, make sure it is. Okay. I didn't turn it page.
I didn't either.
So, there are some changes,
I'm sorry,
so there are the changes, we have the increase in that line,
yes.
we got an increase in that line, we have somebody gotta be a copier there.
Big decrease.
So
that's a big difference.
yes, sir.
Increases and decreases, and how much the bottom line.
But even under your,
So you just don't have to get out your toes and start counting.
just trying to save money right now.
I'm sorry.
Auditor didn't even provide us numbers on what's an increase and a decrease.
Well, I just what's in written here.
Okay.
I guess we'll hope you write that in and go along.
Okay. So somebody's gonna add this up.
Well, we'll have to get with them when they get back.
Is there an ad machine up here?
Used to be, but it's, that's if they brings it in, but I
Take
don't
my
have
shoes
one.
off and start adding. Okay. So that's so seasonal and part-time is a decrease of $1,419. Election workers is a decrease of $15,000.
I did not write that. I did not write that. I did write it before you.
Sharon, can we borrow the one that the judge borrowed before, the extra one that you have in your office? I can go get you.
You're welcome, don't plug it. It's back in the back, right?
So you can bring your
One in the
calculator.
back?
Just bring your calculator with
Yes.
you. I got one right here. Trusty iPhone.
Trusted.
Yeah, she said she didn't write that seasonal part-time salary. She changed it from 31,419 to 30,000.
Go ahead,
And I
listen.
did not write that. Yeah, I didn't write it, Judge, but I did write, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't write the.
Oh, no, I wasn't making that, I wasn't making that face that she was making, that face it.
Oh. I'm talking about that statement. That she's going to.
So I can come up with.
Okay.
We may have to revisit this a little bit when we get. This is just a preliminary get together. We're surprised that there aren't any work from there, right?
That I changed in that, I crunched. Okay.
So that's 7581 increase. $7,580.
You got that. All right. They got, every year's increase.
Even with the
I think
decrease.
it's taxed how much.
Because maintenance is at $44,000.
And I have it all written down.
Is that a yearly?
Yes, sir.
Look at there, there's one.
That's mine.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's okay. It's taken care of.
And none of this, like for instance, the maintenance of the machines, none of that's covered by like the Holland grant.
No, sir.
All right, anybody have any questions?
No, I just,
Will you tell us the breakdown of how you got to the 7581 total increase?
Well, yes, I will. Seasonal and part-time employees is a decrease of $1,419. I don't know, I see, because I don't know if y'all have handwritten notes.
We've got the same packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then election worker salaries is a decrease of 15,000.
Okay.
Which is $16,419 decrease. And an increase of 24,000 for maintenance.
We're tasked with taking notes for the
Well,
auditor's
I'm
office.
trying, so. Okay, anybody have anything else for? Mark?
I don't know right now.
Thank you.
Or, I think I understand what you're at.
I'm subject to recall.
What she said.
I said I'm subject to recall.
Well,
Well, in the part that I don't know, I was gonna have to explain it sometime in the future, is this sheet is attached that has maintenance projections.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't all add up to 50,000. But then somebody's written in 50,000. That all adds up to 31, 36, about 37,000. And so I don't know why, if that all adds up to 37,000, somebody's handwritten 50,000. So I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
All pennies.
They got 10 minutes for all.
Want me to go get one?
Sure, I'll take some.
Oh, even better.
Is there an extra chair? Or- No, no, right there. That's two right there. She's still got her for chair.
One back here.
No.
Well, we can just get one of these. Is there? Okay, we can just do that table up for somebody that's set up.
Well, that's mighty nice of you.
You did a chair, I'll do this.
Wheels will fall on it.
Maybe you ought to do both.
Shane, am I free to go or would you?
Yes, you
All
are.
right, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
I'll do that.
When you try it out, make sure you can see it.
Need a booster?
What are you
Shane,
doing?
What, you know what it was, the problem was, what's his name, what's Steve Nash and, Black. Yeah, Mike Black were sitting there and they said they couldn't hear me. And I said, okay, and I will talk, but they said, well, the reason we can't hear you is because we can't see you. And I was like,
You'll figure that out.
Huh? You read more of that than you realize.
and so they said, when they were sitting on the first row and there was a podium there and I was talking, they couldn't hear me because they just couldn't see my lips moving. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay.
Much like it.
Well, if you ever watch it online, you can't hear any of y'all. So, just saying.
You take my glasses off, I don't hear what I'm saying.
Oh, good, yeah.
It's like turning the radio down so you can see better when you're driving at night, you know?
Or parking in Walmart.
I already thought of that.
I did, but I'll ask it after, I just wanted to know. I didn't hear you say that a lot. Yeah, it has not to do with
You get home
it, so
somebody.
I don't want to get it.
Oh, I've been going through this stuff for 2 months.
You need to shut down, Bill.
Probably do. Their license.
Yeah, because you.
Maybe I need some information, I need that more.
It's Bill.
They gave you steroids, antibiotics. so
I thought it's
But-
buses do that.
Wow.
They had, they've had COVID.
Somebody forgot to silence their phone, there was silent.
Mine's just really good, man.
I'm good, I'm gonna read what I need for you. Well, let's be, what you need. What you need. Maybe, you might go to see one of the guys.
So-
Yeah, come on.
I'll go after Greg. I'll get that.
You want all four of us or one of us? One at a time?
Yeah.
Do something? I
School make a shot. Something go down. Not bad.
I can go over precinct 3 with you, and the other gentlemen can go over there.
Are they coming?
Yeah. I mean, Mitchell will text us here for just, for precinct 1, but he really hasn't, of course, got in there yet, so. He's just observing.
Try to find you. I found it. I know you did.
We're ready.
Right. Office supplies, that's the same,
That's what it
postage, same, Xerox is the same, telephone is the same, and travel, you know, the only thing we had to go up on because they were allowing us to use our tech fund to use for schools, so we always put some type of school information in there to use that for our schools. But our tech fund is lower than it's ever been, so we actually added money to our travel to cover basically our schools for the year for us and the clerks.
So you got 3,000 in there, that was salary question.
I've got on mine 2,100. I don't know what the other.
Somebody wrote, there again, somebody wrote 3,000.
Yeah.
Clerk coverage.
I put 2,100, you need to figure it up. My school, at her school, she shared by me in precinct 1, and then a fourth of Joanne's school, because she's a fourth for every JP. And it was including the, every 2 years, we have to go, all have to go to the legislative update, so on that year, it's a little more than the other years. What I understand what she told me would be cover that, so that's the only increase of mine. And I think of the other JPs is that.
Try to change that to 21, or they got it 3, they got it in the cover sheet.
There again, I guess I'd have to ask whoever wrote, I don't know who wrote
Well,
three
I'm
thousand
thinking
in.
the auditor wrote notes on here on,
Yeah,
on like this cover sheet here, where they
Right.
wrote 3.
yeah, she told me,
We're gonna change it to 21.
okay. Yeah, and we had to revert back to some of that, we still have a little short of, about that 5,000 in the tech fund.
Was that the only thing you're using that for?
Schools and, you know, of course, the county, provided us with computers, you know. But in the past, we bought, I think, some desks and iPads and just, you know, some of that type of stuff, to put our computers, you know, just anything we could put in there that would allow us to use it, we would. Save the county money, because this money is sitting there, and from what I understand, nobody else can use it other than us. And so we try to use it as best we can, and save the whole budget a little money. But with all the DPS troopers that's been gone over the last several years and not getting as much money in on citations as we have in the past years, it's slowly went down. So that's the only reason the increase on the travel.
Okay.
And then the only other thing we put in for was we always put in 5% on, you know, proposed on our salaries, and we know we're gonna get whatever they give us, so. That's what all the salaries are based on. And of course, that's like, you know, half of that is for, you know, the portion of that is for out of each precinct.
Those are salary dress for $7,119 increase.
That-
Well,
21 thing.
On travel.
Plus the milking right there.
2,100 and the 5% on the salary.
Yeah, I don't know what that receiving.
I wish they had scribbled all over.
That's our tech fund money.
That's what they've got in the CD,
Yeah,
and the cash and bank is 1,260.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so just.
That's just for his information.
yeah, that's just
That's
ours. That's not part of ours.
they got some, a lot of handwritten over there, y'all have to change, we have to.
Well, I got it on mine, but that's just, I asked her,
That was telling you.
I asked her to let us know how much we had in our tech fund, and that's all it is. Everything else is up on the top. As far
Yeah,
as
just 21.
that, we did our own sheet, you should have one like that. That's our actual request. for it to be. It's always so hard to write on those little lines. There's no way for them to print that out any bigger for some reason.
That would be a good question to
So
ask them.
we started, this year, we just started doing our own food.
It's one of our dreams, and do software package.
Yeah. Because it's so hard to read.
Seems to me,
During,
nothing,
And you gotta write it so
nothing,
small.
nothing but
and you got lots of new IT stuff to get there, we're working in the right direction.
okay.
So that's all I have. And like I say, I don't know any of the other JPs, Mr. Hogan or Perez, y'all can.
I
Yeah,
think they're all here now.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So,
Some are in transition. Okay. And I apologize, guys. I said there wasn't a meeting yesterday, but there was a meeting yesterday, and so we could have taken care of y'all yesterday. Mr. Judge Haney.
Judge Haney's gonna, he said he's gonna stay as long as he can. He likes it.
I thought we were just
As
adding,
long as it's not later than Monday.
I thought we were just adding a fifth magistrate.
It's fine with us. They can have it every Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, thank
I
you.
wish we could just do it right now while everybody's here.
I think we-
Guys, do y'all have anything to add to your notice of request with that increase in travel? Is that correct? And cost of living as appropriate. So that's 21. Y'all have any questions? Or four JPs?
Y'all do y'all, all right.
Mr. Haney wants to reprieve. He wants out.
I did not realize until, no, not you, somebody else. Yeah, I did not realize until a few weeks back that Judge Haney was magistrate 3 to 5 days a week.
Well, just 1 week it worked out that way.
But on a regular week, I mean,
3 or 4,
3 or 4 days a week, he was magistrate. So,
because I have other positions that I have to magistrate.
well, sir,
I don't even know what all that involves. I don't know what you want to know.
that involves getting up really early in the morning, talking to everybody that's been arrested in the last 24 hours.
Unless you get lucky like me. and didn't have
And it's not like the good old
Zero.
days where you went out there and read a paper to them, and now it's get on the computer and doing all this checking. They've got to be certified to do certain things by the state. They have to get in and check histories and notify people.
Sound like a lot of fun.
All right, guys, thank you. Thank you all for being here.
All right. Y'all need anything else, just let us know. We can let you.
Make a coffee.
We don't even eat. I did see you there.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I didn't hear you coughing, so. All right. No change in the rest of that.
I do want to explain my main thing is requesting no cuts, but every time the legislature meets, they mess up something. So, we have a big change coming with DMV. They're gonna be requiring every dealer in the state of Texas to use Web Dealer, which we don't really know how it's gonna affect us, other than we're gonna need some training, which they had a big training in Wichita Falls, but that's not very, that's not gonna work well with us, so, hopefully we'll have them get closer to us. We're talking about maybe San Angelo, which will require us to close, and if the training doesn't cost anything, it's just the travel there, and, we very seldom ever go anywhere as an office for training, we might close, so, I don't ever use all of my travel for my office supplies, but I don't really know what to request, just cut for the start. And some of the state doesn't even know how they're gonna process. They're not quite sure. The dealerships they're gonna mail the plates directly to dealers. They'll have all inventory, so we're either gonna have to keep it, divided out to, we have 54 active licensed dealers in Grant County, so. The state provides all that stuff for us, it's just if we,
So all of my understanding is all of the vehicle registrations and transfer paperwork, it's all electronically filed by dealers, right?
yes,
Instead of it showing up with a stack full of papers.
Yeah, they do.
it's not optional either.
Right.
And I don't know
That's,
what that's gonna do to some small dealers, because you have to have, they have to have state approved equipment. It has to meet their specifications.
there's been a lot of pushback from those little guys.
I don't wanna do it personally. We're required now to offer a web dealer, but we've only done one web dealer transaction in the last 3 years. So it's gonna be a big change for us, just learning, it's not a difficult process, but you have to examine everything electronically, which to me just helps increase fraud, but whatever. So my point is that I'm not sure if we're gonna need a little bit more storage for having to keep. It may not change much at all, but I'm just throwing it out there. It's effective, July of 25, fully implemented. It's effective December of this year, and we're supposed to be fully
They have to do it
by July 1st, so. Other than
You don't know
that,
what's going really good.
I don't, but they don't really.
Yeah,
They'll provide the paper, the DMV provides their supplies. Paper, plates, it's just I don't know how we're gonna.
That, this kind of coincide with the inspection sticker thing, that all change at the same time?
Well, they're doing a lot of things. There won't be any paper tags, which we'll have to have. All the dealers will have metal dealer tags. We can't issue, we'll have metal plates instead of them printed off the computer, so. it's just-
So there's not gonna be any paper
Okay.
plates.
That's eliminated.
Temporary plates.
They'll be metal.
So when you get a note, when you get your permanent one, you have to give them look back at the temporary.
Or surrender, I'm sure. They don't, we're always the last to know.
Well, they don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
I'm sure there'll be a
The state of Texas
target.
is notorious for implementing something and not knowing what it is.
So my only issue might be the travel. We have an opportunity to go very local to training. I don't know if we'll have them cover that, it probably will, but, and if we have to have some type of more storage or, which I don't know, probably. Other than that,
You're more in elections and the tax office is the same way.
majority,
You have currently, you have 3,000 in travel, and you never use that, it's always
I
much
haven't
less.
used it in a long time, just because because of me, but, you know, I haven't gone anywhere. I
So
did-
what you're saying is there's a possibility that something could come up.
I haven't attended our conferences. I did last year, just one, and I intend to use the travel for one in November. We have one in June, one in November. I do intend to go to that. So that usually takes about 1,500, something like that, so. The training's on us and just the travel to get there, so that would be not only change getting, the rest of it is good, except for the first.
So bottom line, is gonna leave it alone. Handling it, telling us, we have to do something,
Present it to you.
we have to do a minimum or something every year. See, how we don't know.
They don't know, so I don't know what to say, so please don't cut my budget and maybe get an increase.
Okay, thank you very much.
Who this next gal is,
Oh,
what I heard.
Ready?
you ready?
Well, let's do it. I hope so.
There's a lot of handwriting on that page.
Well, the reason being is, we are now, judge is doing juries. So I had to go up on, the postage, because we're having to mail those out. So Josie said to go up,
What is it?
Postage.
3,
No postage.
It's
Yeah,
just,
3,000.
we went up on that because of the mailing out the jury cards. I had to order jury cards, so that made my office supplies go up a little bit. Because I had to order, jury cards. And that's the only thing that we had to go up on, and that was the suggestion of the auditor, because I told her what was going on with it. And, some of my funds I combined, as you can tell, below, it's a big mess. I have a lot of funds, but on the next sheet, it might be a little bit clearer. I increased office supplies and postage due to county court pulling juries now. It's a little niggle. I do still have a tech fund, it's been repealed, but these old cases, we've still got money going into it. So that's why it's got $100 in it. I have quite a bit in records archive, that's what I use to do my land records, to get them archived, put them in on the computer. Records preservation fund is just a fund balance, I'm not gonna be putting any more money in that, I combined that with the records management. I know that's a bunch of jargon, but,
So vital records preservation fund,
that is from birth certificates. If we get a $1.80, goes to the state, and we get $1, whatever, left from it for each birth certificate, and each marriage license, any kind of vital record or death certificate, we get money from that, and that's what I use to pay for my paper, my security paper. But as you can see, it doesn't have much in it, $299, I may have to start using my, supplies fund for that, I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. I try to be a good steward of what I've been entrusted with, and I appreciate everything that y'all do for us. I do ask for, whatever kind of raise we can get. They would appreciate it, we would appreciate it.
oh, so the court records preservation fund is what we're
Front page.
That's been repealed.
Cleaner
That
version, same
that
thing.
court records preservation fund has been
Front
repealed.
page is cleaner version, of the same thing.
Yeah, it's the next page.
Well, I'm just saying, they gave us 2 pages, one looks like this.
Well,
one looks
they're both page 6. One of them I scribbled.
like- Page 6 is
I
pretty,
didn't know she would include it, but, the
page 6
next
is
one
just
is a
simplified.
little bit clearer. And then I've added, the technology fund, and the records management. You can see the papers, it tells me These are my dedicated funds. Gun sheets that you see here. Court Technology Fund, Records Archive, Records Management Preservation. And that is my, dedicated funds that only my office uses. Record preservation. That's exactly what I do with it.
So after all the scribbling and everything, how much did you raise?
Well, I did,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did.
Two fifty for office supplies and $7.50 for postage.
That's it?
Is that right?
Yes,
That's what all that bottom line is.
and that's because of the jury, only because of jury, not because I wanted to.
And, is that all you have? Is that any questions? Just because whenever you're done with your, get Cheryl to come up here and ask y'all something together.
Okay.
Y'all done with county clerk?
I don't know anything else to ask.
And we'll do right now $1,000. All right.
I would see you right there, she was hiding.
I don't know what y'all have, but I'm gonna give you an updated, because it has an updated salary survey in it. I do a salary survey every year for clerks throughout the state of Texas that are about our size. Just to kind of give y'all a gauge for where we stand. What did you want to ask?
Oh, yeah, what I was gonna, how much, between the two of y'all, how much, well, let me ask you what, how much does it cost just to call a jury?
Oh.
That's not.
I'm not
A
sure.
lot, it's not.
$100, I don't know, but a lot.
You got the postage, you got the
And usually call,
we call 350.
and so that's 350 times 55 cents, what is it, what is postage now, 55?
Yeah, I think.
With those cards, is it whole, or is it bucks?
No, it's the
That goes
And one thing I was gonna bring to y'all's attention,
$30.
not to mention that we pay the jury. If they come in and we don't cancel, then we have to pay them for their
For
first
instance,
day.
yesterday
Yes,
was, we called a panel
right.
and brought in, we called 350 people, so that's $192. $192.50. And then everybody that shows up gets paid. How much is it?
The
The
first
first day
day
is
is what,
14,
no, it's 20.
is it 20?
It went
Okay.
up. It went up.
You don't know how many people showed up yesterday.
We had 107 that showed up.
Okay. So that's what's that, 100% times 20.
214, $2,140.
Now, keep in mind that we get reimbursed, I believe, 16.
Okay.
The state reimburses us.
So we'll just say 40.
Right.
107. Okay, plus 192. Okay. So that's 447. Okay, and yours is, how many do
You
you
don't
call?
call 300, do you?
No.
You usually call 150.
So,
We've only pulled two, so. One of them went full force, yeah, we did.
so now we do that twice a month.
A lot of times if we can, and we've been they've been a really good steward, like if they can see that it's gonna work out, then we'll cancel it so that they don't show up.
We
So
put it
there
on
were-
our website. We
Oh, yeah,
call
I know.
Yes.
Oh, radio station.
We try our best to get them not to come in,
If
but
they call.
sometimes they
Right.
do.
Right, sure.
I thought it was $20, so what made it?
But I was gonna bring to your attention that it's always been in the past legally, legislatively, that the sheriff had to call.
And we would do a lot of the work, but they would still send somebody over to do the postage and, you know, take them to the post office. And this last legislative session, they changed it where a clerk could do it too. And so we discussed it with the judge and the sheriff, and they decided that it made more sense for us to do it all and kind of take that burden off of them so that their people could be doing more things that are a lot more important, you know, so that, my budget, when we made that change, my budget didn't have, they had the budget for the jury stuff, they paid for the summons and they paid for the postage out of their budget. I took that over when the change was made legislatively, and so that's kind of thrown me up a little in postage and what have you, but I'm gonna remind y'all that I'm gonna need what he used to have for, in my budget, for that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, and I can get you, you know, like what the jury summons cost and postage and all that, later, but, I'd like to look at that.
No,
I still have it handy.
I mean, it's just, I'm thinking because I'm trying to be really correct, I'm not saying I'm not. We call a lot of juries who don't have very good trials.
Yeah.
We have, but
Last, year before last, my postage budget was $9,635. So that's not how much more she needs. Right now, it's currently about 2,000.
That's a lot of, we spend a lot of money on that.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, but that-
Your presentation.
And I don't know if y'all realize, and as commissioners, you probably don't, but the state is really getting more mindful of reporting. And it appears, and I'm sure you're aware, that they're looking at those disposition numbers and they're attributing it to a judge. So they're really getting more, they're honing in on how well the courts are doing. And,
They should.
And they should,
They get-
yes.
and I mean,
So-
Like, I did remember, so how many of them there were dismissed?
I haven't made any friends.
No,
Because
it's not an easy job.
well, no, I believe in moving cases, I believe in trying cases, I believe in, somebody wants a trial, and they need to get a trial, we need to move them.
Move the docket.
We need to move dockets, we've got too much sitting around.
Well, but we've done very well.
We have.
I will
Brown
say we're
County's done it.
compliant in every way, and our judges have really done a great job.
Yeah.
So,
County court was sitting dormant for 4
Yeah.
years.
Exactly.
well, and we
You
were,
vote for
and
that.
y'all need to remember that we were one of the courts during COVID that was like an exemplary court. We were an example for all the other courts in Texas. We were doing jury trials during COVID.
Judge Ellis, he wasn't the first, he was the second
Yeah.
Yeah.
to have a jury trial.
Yeah, and that worked out very well. So, I mean, most counties, I've heard, you know, through the Clerks Association, that during COVID, they shut down. And we didn't. We were still serving, weren't we? I mean, we were going out to cars and giving people service at the cars. And, you know, when the courthouse was shut down, we would just meet them out there. You know, it worked out pretty well.
It seems like a big blur.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to forget it, probably, I want to forget one.
Yeah, but to answer your question, the state of Texas tracks every case from arrest through disposition. So they keep up with the statistics on, because, you know, there's been a lot of cases where people get arrested and the case doesn't ever get filed. Just because you get arrested doesn't mean you ever get charged. And so those would just kind of sit out there, nothing would ever happen. So you'd have all these people, let's take an individual that's arrested for possession of marijuana. They don't ever get actually charged with possession of marijuana. And so that arrest just hangs out there in la-la land forever. And so the state of Texas is really pushing us to do something.
Close those deals.
Yeah, to close them. And so they track them from arrest to charges being filed, to court dispositions, to final dispositions. They track those, and so we have to have a clearance rate of all of our cases. And it would affect our funding, our grant funding, if we don't have a clearance rate. They have like a rolling average that you have
Well,
to clear.
we were behind a year or two ago now or something.
No, we've never, we've always been behind.
We've always been compliant.
We've always been.
Someone that worked for the county that didn't know what they were talking about, that's no longer here, that acted like they knew everything about everything.
Well, I thought we were like.
No, he tried
We were on the
to,
verge of being out of compliance.
he tried to say that he had gotten a phone call from somebody high up and we were out of compliance, and it wasn't true. Every time he brought that up, we would call him, and he was talking to some different person that was only in his mind. No, we've never been out of compliance.
No, because at the beginning of the year, what they'll do is they'll go forward a year and drop off a year. So when you, at the beginning of the year, we're
How many years are they looking back?
four.
Four.
It's four. And so at the beginning of the year, we're always a little deficient, and that's very normal for most every county. Just because we moved forward to the next year, and the chances of your pending cases of being resolved are higher. You know, they're higher that you're not gonna have them resolved.
We haven't been deficient as far as meeting the requirements. We're deficient in one of those 4 years.
One of those 4 years.
Like 2022.
Right.
That's my low one right now.
It's always the newest year that they've added, so.
And so that's
But
why
it
you
doesn't
did this,
affect the total.
that's why you did this rolling average of 4
But it
years.
doesn't affect it doesn't affect the total. Right now, we're at 93%.
So that means 93% of our club cases are cleared where somebody was arrested.
And we're in
And
compliance.
ultimate disposition.
We did it
Now,
over
now
my-
like 15 years ago, it wasn't like that.
No,
You know, we had a lot of cases, in cases that you'd get arrested and they would file charges against you. And then those would just sit out there in the clerk's office. These old cases would just sit out there forever.
We still have some.
And it's a constant.
Is there statute of limitations on that deal?
No, because once you file the case, the statute of limitations does no longer run. You just have to get it filed within the statute of limitations. Once you file it, it gets set out there pending forever.
Every time the defendant dies or something.
Yeah.
Other than
If that happens,
Then you just dismiss
a lot of
it.
times we check obituaries, but I mean, it's a constant. But I mean, you don't get to 93% without a lot of work by everybody.
and it is everybody, because it's a
Starts at the jail.
Yeah. The jail, the prosecutor,
The
the
prosecutor, and then we're the last ones to get it.
county attorney.
Okay.
Okay, so,
We'll carry on.
It's more than you want to know.
Well, no, I got a little basic understanding what you're talking about.
Good.
It makes more sense what you were saying.
I've just got a question. Back when I was researching all this, I was told that we had a deficiency in the software that we're using that helped us to keep up current. And that's why in the beginning of the year, we looked really bad. And then towards the end of the year, when the deadline was, that we were up to date. And anyway, I haven't heard anything discussed about the deficiency of the software.
It was the net data.
it was net data.
We no longer
Yeah.
use, we no longer use net data to report it, because I did the reporting for the entire county. And I no
So
longer do
it's,
that. We report it individually.
Well, we go to CJIS online now. and
We
it's
report
a lot
them as
more.
they
Right.
happen.
And now the state has required us, we have to do, there's another tier of compliance for the clerk's offices, and it's for both of us, where we have to have a disposition reported to CJIS within 3 days. Yes, yes, and we're compliant with it. They are measuring us more and more everywhere we look. And, good morning. And so, it's just, clerks are doing more and more reporting than ever. Would you agree with that, Sharon?
For Stroop and Scott, now y'all can remember used to, you'd look at criminal histories and there'd be an arrest and charges were filed and there wouldn't be any dispositions. I mean, you'd see people that had all these charges with no dispositions because a lot of times people didn't have dispositions. A lot of cases were just left pending forever. So it's,
All right.
Move on, right?
And I would like to point out one more thing that this will affect Sharon and I both. No, come November 2025, we're gonna be required, our county, and it's gonna fall on us as clerks, because it says the clerk's office. We're gonna have to be integrated with Research Texas. And we're not even integrated at all.
No, but they're trying to get us in.
Yes, we've been on
That
the,
is trying,
yeah, we've been on the list for integration since 2015.
but they're on, they called me yesterday.
Yeah, they did, they said, yeah.
Who's they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's something that's gonna be like an unfunded mandate.
Really?
Yes.
Can't imagine this with an unfunded mandate.
I just wanted to give you a heads up.
And so I'm sorry, you were about to get to salaries.
Well, actually, I was gonna go over my budget real quick. My office supplies, I sent it the same. My postage, I could see us taking it down a notch, which I was at 5,500. But I don't, but I haven't reflected jury.
And that
So,
was talking about transfer.
Right.
That's not counting.
Right, so that-
Transfer from there.
well, I probably need to get with Joseph to
Yes.
figure out those figures. Our Xerox, we could, we could just leave it the same. Telephone, whatever, I'm good with. We seem to be doing fine with that. Travel, I would ask that we would keep it the same because, we're required to go to conferences, we're required to have so many hours, and I think we learn a lot at these conferences that we share with reports. And so between us, I think we kind of keep the reports, we kind of help between y'all's conferences and ours. I think those are very important. I serve on the legislative and district manual committee for the County and District Clerks Association. And we also attend the regional fall and spring meetings. We hosted the spring meeting just last year in spring. I usually don't have enough in my budget to go to every conference, so a lot of times I'll skip the summer conference. Because I like to also go to the District Court of Alliance, which is kind of Clerks College. And it's always very informative, but anyway, but I always do request reimbursement from the state for those and put it back into my travel budget. So that's how I'm kind of able to stay afloat and have a balance.
Would you require, like,
We got to have 20
Yeah, we have
hours.
to have 20 hours. I usually have about 30 hours.
How many do y'all have to have?
14?
16?
16. Yeah, some kind of number like that.
And if we don't keep that 20 hours, if we don't have that, then we can't vote for, for our association, and there's a lot of things we can't do. That can really tie our hands and stuff. I wanted to point out that I know I have a balance, but I also have a summer conference to attend next month, which will probably use up what I've got. I do have a log available if y'all would like to see it. I keep track of log of all my expenses on office supplies and travel. So there's that, and let's see. Going to salaries.
Quick before, so your, someone, I don't know if you hand wrote, your request, okay?
Right,
Or this paper.
that's
Okay,
that's my writing.
and so you're actually reducing your requested amount? You add all those numbers up?
Yes, I think I reduced the postage.
You did reduce the postage about 1,500.
Right.
You're not cutting it close there?
Well, I don't know what the jury is gonna do.
Okay.
Honestly, I haven't had a chance to get with Judge and figure out what exactly that
Yeah, we
is,
probably get that hammered out and get back.
Right.
We're just gonna transfer
what they would give.
what they were getting to us.
Right. So what I'm trying
When
to
did y'all make that change?
whenever the latest was last legislative session was over. So probably,
September last year?
was it September 1st?
Yeah, this last year we did it sometime.
Probably I'd say October or November. So, and which is not, I was glad to do because his people need to be freed up to do stuff that's a
Sure,
lot more
sure.
important than clerical stuff, so,
Put more people on your dock.
that'll be okay too. Our people are our greatest asset, and when they feel valued, I think they do more for our county. And so we are so glad that the court raised the clerk's salaries last year to a reasonable wage. With that being said, I'm asking for a cost of living for my staff of 5%. You will see a breakout table that I have attached for your reference. I'd like to point out that our clerks, which is Sharon's office, my office, Christine's office, they're the face of the court, honestly. And they leave the first and last impression of our entire courthouse. So that's just something to think about. I will also say that our people in our offices are quasi paralegals. And I don't think people realize that. We just can't hire people off the streets to do the job that they do. You know, they have to know legal processes, they have to know the statutes, they have to know, where to find those statutes and codes, and it's just, there's a lot that they have to know to do their job. So I just wanted to point that out. I have a salary request broken down for y'all to look at with the 5%. I'm also, right after that page, you'll see a business flow process. It's just kind of a flow chart of how things work for e-file, because we use e-file now, and that's the way that we're taking as well. You don't realize there's a lot to that. So, and there's a justification for the increase that I've asked that follows that. Just kind of points out the different Supreme Court mandates. And then we get to the salary survey that I've done. Okay, I have heard from, it's so difficult to hear from every county. I think I'm lacking about 3 or 4 counties. But you'll notice that our Brown County went up from last year, which was a very big blessing to the girls. Burbage County is still pretty high, and I know that you think that it shouldn't be based on population. It should be based on tax base. But I will say, it doesn't matter from county to county, they all do the same thing. They all do the same job. And they're all required to follow the same laws and same processes. So I have a different opinion. I believe it should go by population, but that's my opinion. Burnett County is one of the highest paid counties, and I can see why they do have a much higher tax base. In Monteith County, I included them because they're kind of rising between. They've got a population of 19,000, we have 38, so I just kind of included putting them in there. Now, I did throw in Comanche, Coleman, and Mills, just because they're close by. They're not near our population, but I just, I still wondering, so you would have clue. Fannin County, I have them earmarked as the lowest paid county. I know Clayburgh County is really reflects the lowest, but I didn't hear from them. So their salaries that they're reflecting right there are from last year, so they're gone. So I just speculated that Fannin County would still be the lowest. So that is that. And then behind that, you'll see all of my funds. And there's a statute that kind of tells how they can be spent, what we've got. And I'm gonna piggyback on what Sharon said. The preservation, they've done away with, it was repealed, and it is now record management. So I don't really care for the fact that they've done that. I would much rather have my preservation and records management broken out. But the records preservation is for preserving records. And of course, you can see how we can use it. Their records management is it's self-explanatory. And there's archive, and archive is what I use to, and you can use the preservation in the archive. We have so many records that are historical, and we have so many records that are very old, and we are constantly doing records management in our offices. But there are so many books that are so fragile. And that is what these funds are for, to kind of repair the books or redo them. So we're working, Sharon and I have been working on projects, Sharon more so than me, but projects to redo these books. And I've gone, and I went from the 1800s to the 1900s and redid some of those books, and they co-filed, and co-filed did a great job, and they not only did restore the books, but they also gave us a thumb drive so that it could be downloaded into our system whenever. But I'd like to do the same thing with some. And I'm actively working with this company to do it. And then there's the records technology. It was repealed, and like Sharon said, you know, so there's some old cases that throw money into that fund, and it kind of explains where, how it can be used. You don't have any questions?
I don't have any.
I would really like to thank you guys for all you do, and for you on the political state, fighting for our people last year. It meant a lot to them, and I can promise you that I don't know about Sharon, and I'm sure she would agree with me that our people races do make a difference, and our people, I've seen a big difference in the work that's been put out by my people. I just think we're very valued and appreciated by the extra month, so. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very, John, any questions?
Anything else to ask for now? Just have to figure out what we're gonna do about the money transfer on postage.
Yeah,
Whatever for those.
and I didn't have a chance to get with Jesse on that, so. I did.
I've got a message that says Dr. Knight and over.
You did?
Wow.
And you got one, I did, okay.
Yeah, that's true, so. Not here yet, just so they're not. Black, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and these numbers probably are not off too much, because she's been doing it since September or October of last year. So these postage numbers are,
They need to do the transfer, be a wash. And we're all budgeted to be a wash.
well, I know what I'm saying is she's been doing it for nearly this whole fiscal year. And so,
Well, have you been paying for it though, out of yours,
Well, yeah,
Sheriff?
yeah, she's already been
well,
paying.
he did up until
This current budget,
probably
This current
maybe,
budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it'd be-
So I think those are pretty good numbers, so I think we're in good shape on
we'll just have to look at it. Josie could tell us exactly, so.
that. Constables. Speaking.
You gonna do it as a group or you gonna be individual?
Well, I'm speaking for Robert and Roy. I don't know about me and my,
we don't have a list for,
pardon?
we don't have a sheet for.
Who do you have for? Oh, precinct 4?
That's okay.
Mine. It's the same thing.
Be safe.
What we're asking about for 3% cost of living or more, whatever. you decide what's official. We're asking for $1,000 increase on our operating expense, and mostly that is because of the mandated trainings that they got. They added 16 more hours for work training that we have to have, and then civil processing. So our hours went up on that. And then we're asking for $25 a certificate pay, like your basic, intermediate, and advanced, or master's certificate pay that the county pays. we're asking for an additional one, because if you have your civil proficiency certification in civil processing, that's just like having a master's in law enforcement. So we're asking to add that as a certificate pay, the $25.
$25 per month.
Right. Yeah, that's, your certificate pay is per month and for all law enforcement, so we're asking for additional 25. And going back to the $1,000 increase in operating expenses, or either one, all the classes that we attend, and there's other constables there. Constable and, populations as big as Brownwood or bigger, the constables make the same amount as the JPs. And we don't, we're way under what JP makes. And as y'all know, it's apparently hard to get constables because we've got one that's coming up in January that's not filled. Robert's retiring and nobody ran in his place, so hopefully somebody will want to be appointed or ask about it. All civil process has gone up in the last 10 years. Used to have 2 or 3 evictions or 2 or 3 small claims. Now we're getting that per day, 2 or 3 evictions per day.
It's like a bubble thing.
Sometimes, here lately, in the last 6 months, the evictions, we're getting evictions big time. And small claims.
Well, you know, a lot of that they need to do is get over the, got pushed back. They made it, I guess you could do evictions for a lot of COVID, some places, some jurisdictions. That's one of the positive, looks the trend. Okay, that was just an out of question, had nothing to do with anything.
That's all we're, unless Mike had something else he wanted to ask for, that's all we got.
Mikey, you got anything to add?
Troy's got everything for me. I
There's
turned it
Mike
in to Sharon.
Jones', piece of paper, it doesn't have anything on it,
Okay, all right.
but he said whatever they wanted, he said
Whatever,
correct.
whatever Troy's
You
going.
just said get up,
Yeah, they don't.
get up, get up. Okay, I'll have, we're just looking at things right now.
Right.
We got any else, you know, talk already, maybe, yeah, we got anything on that?
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
You want for the middle of next
I
month?
know, that's crazy, about the whole process. Emergency management. Okay.
So they'll.
Yeah, they had- they got a lot more knowledge.
Morning. Good morning.
Yeah, they did. I think you got some more stuff. Well, I can't believe we're retired. I think we retired 16 years old, one thing.
And they still look good.
I wouldn't trust.
I don't trust them.
Oh, the trailer, communication trailer.
Yeah, the first time you have to take it out of town, you'll hot.
Last year.
So my basic, budget, only got two changes. One is code red, when we renewed it last year, it went up $990. That wasn't reflected in last year's budget, so we need to increase that. And then the plumbing, overall, everybody seems to be pretty happy. We probably need to do a campaign to get more people actively signed up.
We need to do a test, first of all, to make sure it works.
And we rely more on the iPhones part of it, which gets every cell phone that's in the county. And mass notification. We could probably use the code red a little more for local information, courthouse code and things like that, if we needed to.
You get like so much. Any words a year or what, how much time is it, a flat fee for how much?
It's flat fee for unlimited messages. You're limited on each broadcast you send out on how many words it can be.
Oh,
But you're not looking at having messages.
Now you can send one 10 times a day if you need to. And then, telephone service went up $97, so basically increased $1,087 over last year. Very nice. Still looks good. And a supplemental request for, on the communication trailer. We don't have a line item anywhere for it that I'm aware of. I think in the past, anything's just come out of the equipment budget. But we do have a couple of costs that we need to incur on it coming up. $1,350, $850 for 7 new tires. And Joe was saying they're 16 years old, so they're.
Yeah.
Where can you buy that many cars?
Transactions. Yes. And these are, these are 16 inch, so they're still pretty.
well, here's the thing about it is, on those trailer tires, in my experience, a lot of times they'll dry rot, fly apart before you wear one out. You usually have to buy brand new American-made tires, a tire that won't, a lot of Chinese tires, the rubber will rot. So the last one I bought trailer tires, they were like $200 a piece for quality. Well, those were
Yeah, these are supposed to be strong enough to carry the tractor.
okay, but they are, they're not that off brand.
Hercules, which is the main brand. They said,
Yeah, we're worried about shelf life as much as we are more than we are trailer.
and then they keep the trailer inside, I think, yep, temperature, so it's, and then it's.
I've had one tire that pops in the shed.
Yes, I have.
With 2 years old, brand new, tell them these tires, they're Chinese tires, and they throw mold on them, sit in the shed.
I guess that tells you how much we can use the trailer.
Well, you'll hardly, like I said, one time, trailer tire will blow out before you wear it out. Unless you use a trailer. So we fly apart, on each one, and tear the side off the trailer, like those, little trailer, like it'll throw the rubber, rip the trailer up, do more damage than the tires cost by far.
What's the door modification?
Okay, and Chief Strickland can probably attest to this.
It's needed.
Basically, the generator is built on a slide out rack. You have to slide it out to check the oil on it or put a battery in or anything. Chief Strickland caught it in the head when it slid out too far and broke.
Oh, yeah.
During the ice storm, from the generator. There's a louvered door on the right-hand side that I think we can just take out, put some hinges on and latch, a little modification, and access the battery and that without sliding it out. That was more of a safety issue than anything. And that being said, we're also have a grant in a SERIA grant, which is statewide emergency radio interoperability through the COG. We should know if we got the grant sometime this month. It's about $120,000, and that's going to upgrade all the radios and operating systems inside the trailer. So they haven't really been touched in 16 years either. So
They put one of the new, they did put one of the new radios in here, but that's about it, about one of our.
yeah, just one. Really, we need 3. So, and that will fix that problem and is back in good shape. So that's,
So where does that money actually need to come from to try to repair it?
Well, not a great question.
Yeah.
I
We'll have
mean,
to look last time.
we can always add another line item under his budget, what you said, of an equipment.
yeah, it'd be good.
Well,
Have a-
you've got special equipment.
Yes, sir.
What does you usually use that for?
I like, when I replace the LED lights in the truck, that came out of that, any, extra, laptop for mounting or anything like that.
Why, I don't know why we under special equipment, we couldn't just add in an extra $1,350.
That would work for me
And
this
just,
time.
just be done, just be done with it.
Okay.
So we're gonna change that number of 1,000 there to 2350, correct? Is that handwritten?
Yes, sir.
Change 2,400.
Gary said 2400.
2437.
Gary's feeling generous today.
Well, you got 1,000,
I hear
I
you.
appreciate it.
13.
I hear you. Jordan,
And the only other thing I've got down on the fact sheet, Pat came to y'all back several months ago with a grant for the storm siren system that was approved. It hadn't been approved by commissioners yet, so, the way the grant was put together, it wouldn't work for Brown County, so we've been working through trying to get the logistics of what's gonna take to make it fit, and that's gonna need to come back to y'all. But, the original grant was for 7 sirens in, May, Brooksmith, Winchell, and some of those areas.
North Lake.
Yes, no, that didn't include North Lake, no, sir. Winchell, Brooksmith, had 2, Zephyr, Blanket, and May.
Wow. Well, the North Lake area is one of the ones that probably needs this work.
That's on a separate grant
Yeah,
proposal.
Oh, it is.
It's in 3 separate grants,
That's Treasure House City out there, and that's where all the storms come right across the way.
but it is, if y'all do decide to accept the grant approved, there's gonna be some matching from the county. The first grant is 18,000, so we need to bring that back for y'all. Well, so we get the questions answered, and see what you want to do.
And so we're gonna need to add, I don't know where we're gonna add in 18,000.
Plus, if you get the other 2
What are
grants,
the other going, once you get that installed, what are the yearly expenses that kind of go along with that, other battery backup?
the other backup, to the battery life's about 5 years.
So there's
And
gonna
I
be
think 6 batteries.
reoccurring for expense to keep those maintained. It wasn't major, but I remember there being something.
And the total package of all 3 grants is close to 30 sirens, so it's gonna be pretty substantial.
The total back to 18?
No, for the first 7,
We haven't had any loss of life due to a weather event in Brown County this year.
no,
I mean, we had some pretty serious stuff happen north like 5 years back, but nobody got hurt. And that was 40 years. They went to their lives, bunch of stuff out one time out there, which nobody, unless, of course, you get your phones down, which maybe doing a lot of stuff.
yeah, this will be kind of a backup to the electronic way we do it.
Okay, so we'll need to budget in the match this fiscal year. The 18,669, right?
Yes,
And then aren't there gonna be some additional expenses related to the computer that operates it, or?
no, that would be involved, or included in the system. That will have to go out to bid for the whole system, so that can all be included in that bid.
And then when we do it that way, then we're only paying 10% difference on that cost. So the 18,669 should get us, that should be all we spend on this project in this fiscal year.
There will be a small monthly reoccurring fee for the digital backbone. Daryl, that was pretty
Right.
small.
What are small?
I just, $12 or $13 a month.
Yeah, it was pretty insignificant.
You know, who you ask?
And that's through AT&T on the FirstNet.
Are they controlled roughly by like a cell phone type signal or something? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Originally, in dealing with the salesman, there was no problem. We throw up the antennas, it'll reach everything. And then Daryl got involved and said, they don't know what they're talking about, and sure enough, they didn't. And originally came back with a VHF connection, which was gonna be an investment of a little over $1 million to do. Yeah, and then Daryl came up with the idea of the cell phone tower setup, and which can tie right in with our solar panel charging and stuff, so we don't have to have additional electricity. And so that comes in with a reoccurring fee of $20, $30 a month, something like that,
Per tower or all together?
all together.
Which worked really good until the days when their cell phones.
Well,
Well, and Daryl brought up the idea of using a dual SIM card situation where if one fails, the other one will pick up.
two services. Redundancy of some sort. There you go.
But again, y'all haven't voted on it, just to approve it, so just want to make sure that.
Including the budget, if so we'll need to find, yeah.
So you
We
got.
still got a few more questions to get at.
Where are we?
So, Winchell, two at Brooksmith, which I only need one out there. One in Zephyr, Blanket, and Mack.
And then the North.
May.
The North Lake's on a separate grant.
North Lake is on a separate grant, or actually the entire lake.
Yeah, well, they're trying to-
They're looking at, if you did the lake the way they, which I think is overkill, but they're saying 13 sirens around the lake. But the way sound carries out there, I think you can probably about half that maybe.
We had the AT&T group go out and test for signal strength around there, and so we're waiting on that report right now.
Okay. That's a little bit of public safety, it's really, I guess it's not a lot of money. What it is.
The 18,000 he's talking about is a one-time matching fee for the grant. It's not an annual.
Right, yeah, other than that.
Okay.
They didn't, but, I mean, before their cell phones, they had nothing. To speak of, we have a lot of work with cell phones, it's not like it was.
All right. Thank you. You bet it, you'll break.
Don't worry, it's lunch.
24.37. You got 24.37 on that one?
I didn't run it.
You just take the pen tool. Yes.
Oh, I didn't see her either, I was looking for it.
She's quiet and shy.
I was looking through.
Good.
I'm good, how are y'all? So as far as my budget, if possible, that's when we get past this. Because we don't have anything that fluctuates except for my telephone, my office supplies, and my travel. Everything else is pretty much remains the same. And we've moved money around from travel and office supplies, so it all stays the same as it was last year, pretty much.
Do y'all not have any training that you have to go to?
That's included in the travel. And we went to, Town Dock this year, to the tax conference.
That's not very much.
Well, that's pretty much what it cost us. As this year, let's see,
How much travel for cheap?
well, we do mileage and then that's pretty much it. Last year Jocelyn went to, wherever she went,
And I didn't go last year, but this year we both went, so cost went up.
Was it just a day?
Now, it's Wednesday, go down, Tuesday night.
There's no tuition in?
No.
Okay. They charge us to go to school.
Well, I mean, it cost, for the conference, it was right over, it was over 1,000. Well, it was, let's see, for the motel, it was around 5 for both of us. And then the conference was around 8, almost $900. So that's what it cost us to go. That's much.
You're just saying, you're just gonna move, money's gonna be at wash.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't even want to raise, if we get that one to raise.
Well, yeah, we did that, I think, that, yes.
Yeah, see, I don't know where that's even reflected. Because this, what we've got,
Well, I look at this page.
no, but if you look at this,
Oh, yeah.
under travel, it's showing that she spent $86 this year.
Well, I don't know where they put it. I don't know how it goes into the system, but that's what we take it out. I don't know where she, because all of the deals have been.
What's Tech Share?
That's our, software system. So, as of, well, actually, according to this was printed out before we went to, so that's the reason it's not showing up on my sheet. I don't know about your sheet, on my sheet, they haven't come out yet.
So someone hand wrote 1,700.
That was you.
Okay, so that, you think that's enough?
It's gonna be give or take.
Okay.
We'll be close.
And you don't typically talk about or comment on the actual amount of money we're spending on benefits. That's somebody else's budget.
Yes. That's usually comes out of the generals.
Thank you very much. Jennifer daughter, she works so much. Oh,
I'm skipping, I'm gonna go next and, you know.
no, I'm trying to tell you what, stay away. What? Right, guys.
Sheriff, you ready?
Pardon?
You ready?
Well, did y'all get this sheet here with the breakdown of the tax increase?
I don't think I've got. We got 2 pages for you. All line items.
Which, what did it look like?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that.
I don't know. I don't have one on this one.
It's, in my packet, it's the sheet before his budget recommendation.
It says increase in force.
Okay, all right.
I want to go right by it.
I just want to make sure if y'all got it, you got the corrected version.
Oh, yeah, this is what he's talking about right here.
We're talking about deputies including sheriff. If that's not marked out, please mark that up. I'm intended to be-
Yeah, it is, it's much.
It says deputy pay.
Y'all, and we know every year I come before y'all begging and pleading and for employees and equipment. And I've got to put up with the sidebar comments from other elected officials, and I know they're contacting y'all, getting in my business because they don't like what, I'm getting up here asking for. But everything I do, it benefits every county employee because every raise that my employees get, every county employee gets those raises too. So it's beneficial, and I hope that, I've got problems, I can't keep employees. By no means do I think my employees are any better than anybody else's. That's not what I'm trying to get at all. But the jobs in public safety are 24/7, holidays, weekends, all the time. And this past year, I had in the jail 31 uses of forces. And that's my jailers getting spit on, getting urine thrown on them, getting punched in the face, their noses and lips busted, knee surgeries, shoulder surgeries. It's just, for minimal pay, they're getting this. In September 21, a jailer, Saunders, died from COVID. He was watching the inmate at the hospital. Him and the inmate both died from COVID. We're at risk out there. Just a few weeks ago, Deputy Below pulled up to a residence. Come to find out, he had to shoot the guy eventually, but come to find out that crook fired 2 shots at my deputy. Fortunately, both bullets were misfired. So that could have been a bad deal. Eastern County's had 2 deputies die. Eden had 2 deputies get killed over barking dogs. These times are tough, it's getting rough. And also I got these deputies and jailers that every morning they put that badge on, or every night they put that badge on, going out there willing to risk their life, to give their life to protect the citizens of this county, and they qualify for welfare. Absolutely, they gotta get government assistance to help them raise their kids, and they risk their lives every day that they put that badge on. San Saba County, they're starting their deputies out at 58,000. Eastern County's in the mid to low 50s. It's just that way everywhere. I'm currently down 4 deputies. I've been without 4 deputies nearly a year now, and that's the lack of coverage that the state of County have been getting because I can't keep employees. We do have 4 in the academy that will be graduating eventually. We need to develop some type of a step program for the employees. But what I submitted with my budget, gentlemen, is a $6,000 a year raise for every employee I got, and still won't bring them up to the bare minimum. The judge prepared some documents too,
If I can find them.
where he's contacted other counties, just like Cheryl did. Got the comparison, and we're way below, way below. I know y'all do what you gotta do, but I'm desperate. I'm absolutely desperate. We've got to have some help. We got to have some relief. I was gonna ask for a new deputy under the Senate Bill 22 budget, but the current ones got so screwed up that I'm gun shy to even ask for anything out of that. But I assure you, whatever happened this year will not happen again. I'll take care of that myself.
What's the starting pay?
45,000.
And that makes
Did you say that again?
I was just asking. what the
45,000.
starting pay is for-
That's starting pay.
Do they get, that's, they're including, they're paying on top of that, and that's.
Not if they're a rookie, like if you're a master peace officer, you come in at $45,000. If you got, and a master peace officer's 20 years of service, that's up to $7,000 additional on your paycheck. 51,000, but that 7,000, they're not getting benefits on there. So I'd gladly roll that into the actual salary so they could benefit their retirement.
Sure, we do pay retirement on the certification.
Okay, well, good, I didn't know that. Thank you. But just figuring, the $6,000 across the board raise for all of my employees, jailers and deputies, is $458,000. I know my budget currently is about 7.5 million. I'm a burden on the county, but I'm a necessary burden. We've got to have that burden in our budget, in our lives to keep the citizens safe. And
Yeah, and I'll jump in here. You know, I kinda, and I intentionally did it on my own, so it's just to kind of see where we were headed. He's working on his numbers, I'm working on my numbers, and so, you know, I've been working on this for a few weeks now, and calling other counties and just talking to them, getting numbers, I guess what prompted me more than anything was when I was noticing some small counties around here, St. Sabbath County, Eastland County, Coleman County, these other counties, and I'll just use Eastland as an example. Eastland is paying so much more for law enforcement than Brown County. Eastland County is a poor county. St. Sabbath County is a very, very poor county. And these counties are all paying so much more for law enforcement. I mean, like substantially. I'm not talking about 2 or 3%. I'm talking about a lot more. And so I have just taken, I've been working on numbers, individuals at the sheriff's department, and trying to come up with some type of a plan. Not even paying what St. Sabbath pays, and not even paying what Eastland County pays, just trying to split the difference. Really, is all I was trying to do is just come up with some number between what we're starting and what they're starting. And the second thing is, I guess I was a little bit, when I sat down and looked at individuals that work in the sheriff's department, I realized that we don't have a organized plan on any
step program?
step program, yeah. And which I was really surprised that we don't have that. And there's a lot of, quite frankly, looking at salaries from all of the department wide, there's a lot of inequities. You've got people, and I don't want to point out individuals, but I will. Chuck, since he walked in, I'll use him as an example. You know, how many years have you been in law enforcement? 28 years. He's a detective. I think that's where all investigators are detectives.
He's lieutenant now.
Yeah. So he's a lieutenant in CID with 28 years of experience. And literally, you could graduate from the police academy today and go to work in St. Sabbath tomorrow and make, I don't know, 12, 14,000 a year more, straight out of the academy, zero experience.
Where we're at now,
That's-
gentlemen, we're just a training facility.
Yeah.
It's cost us to train these people.
How they do it?
How do they pay that? I have no earthly idea. But, you know, and I don't want to get on my soapbox, but, you know, life in general is all about priorities. And it's what you make a priority in life. And it's obvious that they have made that a priority over some other things. And there's inequities between our department and other departments. There's inequities within our department. There's some people that are a lot closer to a reasonable wage, and there's some people that are a lot further from a reasonable wage. And so because of that, I've actually come up with a plan, and I've shared it with the judge. The sheriff, we haven't talked about it, but I shared it with him. Because I would like to see us take all of our positions and rather than just, and I understand your position, you have to kind of treat everybody fair the same, instead of just kind of across the board. But I would like to really come up with a plan that some people out there are gonna get more than other people
I
because
agree.
they need to be.
That's exactly.
I mean, Chuck basically makes the minimum salary. Okay? I mean, so somebody straight out of the academy that goes to work for the sheriff's department is only making $2,000 less than Chuck. Well, that makes zero sense at all. And in any world, that makes no sense. And so I have come up with a plan, and I don't think that we're going to solve this solution today. We're gonna need to sit down. We're gonna need to have another day for you to come back and to talk about specifics. But I think that we are at a critical juncture, and it's getting worse instead of better. So we've got to do two things. We've got to come up with a plan for beginning salaries with steps for experience for deputies, and then we've also got to look at the deputies that we've got and fix some of the inequities within the department. We've got to do both of those.
For the jail also, I mean, we gotta.
Yeah. And it may mean fixing one year and one the next year. I don't know. But we really, I mean, when you start talking to other counties, you realize I will tell you, we're lucky. We're very, very lucky. The citizens of Brown County are lucky and very, very fortunate that we only have 4 openings. Because really, if you presented these numbers to me and told me what other counties are making, I would have thought that we would just be half of the positions we have now.
Well, I fear that we're slowly getting there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for y'all allowing me to do the academy deal, we wouldn't have the 4 in the academy right now.
Yeah, and it's.
But nobody with experience is coming to apply at Brown County for $45,000 a year now.
No, and I will tell you, I don't want this to sound patronizing, because it's not my personality, but talking to people in law enforcement and talking to police officers and early police officers, I hear all the time that, particularly in Brown County, that there are officers in other departments who would much rather work for the sheriff's department because of their working environment. And they just say, I just can't afford it. I'd love to work for sheriff. I would love to go work for the sheriff's department because they have a great working environment. I can't. People tell me that all the time. I hear the law enforcement tells me that all the time. And so, I don't think that, and I'll make copies of this. And so, I don't think it's not asking for the thing. It's just asking for a little bit of fairness. And so, why I want to finish this discussion today is because it's kind of all come up, and so I don't want this to be sprung on you at the last minute. I want to give you time to think about it. And so, make copies of the stuff and present it. And so, I've got 2 things. One is just a salary structure with starting in years of experience for all the different levels, because we've got to get organized. But and then the second thing is just a salary that tells you exactly.
Is there a copy of this off of different other departments?
Well, no, this is just, I made this on my own, but these numbers are all based upon figures that I got from other departments. Now, I will tell you that this still, even doing this, we would still be the lowest paid, but it gets us closer to the next lowest paid. So, this does not bring us up to kind of the prevailing wage, but it gets us a lot closer than we are now. Because, I mean, we're starting deputy pay, we're like, we're 10 or 12, $14,000 behind everybody else. And I know that that's too big of a bite to take all at once, but we can at least cut the difference in half.
I'll go back and look at these numbers too, to see what the difference is in my request.
Yeah.
And what that is, because my request, the tax rate would be increased 0.000094419, which that's very minimal.
Well, I will tell you.
Very, very minimal.
You've got a total figure for all the deputies.
And jailers.
Yeah. Well, no, you've got yes, but you've got a number that says, for your request, it would cost $228,000.
Yes, for the deputies.
The deputies. And so in mine, and we did this independent, we didn't like collaborate, but mine is 247, so it's more than yours, but, so that's kind of gives you the ballpark of what the numbers that we're talking about, so.
And again, I want to emphasize to everybody, I don't think my people are any better than y'all's, but they're different jobs. There's different training, there's different, it's just totally different.
Well, tax rate last year, we ended up right at rollback, right? various grant, I mean, it's also about how the hell we do that. I mean, seriously, I mean, it's not, who we gonna cut? Everybody in here is asking for more, so you can, I
I
don't think they're gonna
guarantee
do
you,
that. I don't know how to do it yet.
I'm not gonna say I guarantee, but I feel like if there was a referendum and it went before the taxpayers, they would have a problem raising taxes at all to fund us. You know, look what they're doing for the school districts, look what they're doing for the Boys and Girls Club. I felt like that was gonna pass pretty heavy-handedly. But I'm just saying, we have support. Y'all saw yesterday the type of support that law enforcement in Brown County has from the Jet Ross. But they're different jobs, with different risk factors. And I have more jailers assaulted than I have deputies assaulted every year.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I do. So if we're gonna develop anything, I'd rather it be 50-50, and then next year the other 50, you know, instead of having one above the other. Because it's bad back there.
Well, that's what we need to have a part two of sheriff's department salaries. I'm looking, oh, okay, right here, okay. I didn't see where the jailers were, now I see where they're on there.
But that's, you know, my biggest fear is losing one of my employees or having something really, really bad happen to them. That'd be a career ender for me. So let's reward them, you know, let's make it worthwhile. Let's get them off of welfare.
Commissioner Kelton, to answer your question about San Saba County, they're paying their deputies $58,000 a year, and they did not take the Senate Bill 22 money. In this budget year, I know that they're asking for an 8% raise on top of that 58,000, so that kind of puts in perspective.
I just wondering how their tax base had it. I'm thinking of it. Where did they raise that much money with that?
Right. You know, the legislature tied commissioners' hands because they came in and they said, you know, you can only raise revenue based on property taxes by a certain percentage every year.
And then throw the unfunded mandates in there?
Yeah, which is one of those politician selling points that everybody goes, oh, that's a great idea, not knowing that it really is a horrible idea thing.
Well, our own Republicans did that to us, say, on the back ground, they're trying to make you raise your values. On the front, they're blaming the property taxes on the county. Schools, 2/3 of it, we're only 1/3 of it, and they cap our tax rate. They don't cap anybody else and everybody else, so they make us a scapegoat. But there's some on us where we can't go over just very little bit or on rollback. We were there last year.
And also,
Where you have to go out to the voters to vote on. I mean, that's how, we were like 1 point away from having to go out to the voters to vote last year, right? And we,
But you bring up a good point, and that is, at some point in time, you may just do that. And that's what Granbury did. That's, Hood County, they just said, look, we can't continue to operate with this little of an increase, and so they're just gonna have to go out for a vote. And that sounds scary, but if we have to do it, we have to do it. And we just, if that's the rules the legislature's made, then we've got to follow the rules and do it.
and also to lessen the burden of my budget this year due to the loss of those grant funds, I'm only gonna request 2 vehicles instead of 4.
Did you ever get all of what we had?
We got 0.
you get the vehicle, we already had.
Oh, vehicles, I thought you meant grant money. Yeah, we actually got a few delivered the other day. We got 3 of them on the road, and another 4 has landed up.
Is that before or after?
We got 2 brand new that's got the hell beat out of them. I got beat up by hell, I should say.
So we got 4 coming, 4 more coming.
From last year.
Yeah.
Of course, and then we just got vehicles a few months ago from 2 years ago, so we've been struggling. Cars about 250,000 miles on them.
I think y'all got to have a hitchhike around like you are
Yeah.
with cars.
But that's good. We're setting good with our equipment, thanks to y'all, and I do appreciate that. And we've come a long ways with the equipment stuff. And I know we have on the salaries, but we're still falling short.
They're expensive.
Well, that's lease or,
Well, they're still expensive.
Yeah, the Tahoes this year are going up to 55,000 from, we was paying this party last year. I'm gonna be driving some pickups, I'm gonna order 2 pickups, they're a lot cheaper, so we need to replace them. I thank you, gentlemen, and I know you feel my pain, and I hope that y'all do something to help everybody out.
How much money do we actually lose on that grant? We said they put 350 in there.
That's the max that I could have applied for. I don't know what the auditor's office applied for, but to meet the salary standards is under $100,000.
I'm gonna say so. Use what we.
And I think she was gonna throw a couple of vehicles in there, and just talking to her, passing in the hallway, but I'm not sure what all. Yeah, I was less than $100,000 on the salaries to get to the minimum.
Well, as you know, I was more a little upset tonight after we lost that. We worked so hard last year to finally scrounge around and get a balanced budget and find out that we missed the grant.
Well, talking to Senator King's office, that's how I knew that we didn't get it. He called me like, hey, how come you didn't apply for the grant? And I said, well, we're waiting for it, you know. And we found out it was sent. Like the DA's office, they got the grant out, county attorney got the grant out, but the sheriffs went to the county judge's office. And I don't know. But they're supposed to correct that this year, at least send us notice.
There's no going back.
No, because we appealed actually with the comptroller's office through the senator's office, and he wouldn't go for it. And I'm not the only sheriff in the state. This happened to several of them.
From our point of view, it's so frustrating. Like I said, we worked so hard to try to get everything together that we have to roll back grant. And then that's a large amount of money. I mean, that's different sometimes. And you said there's another grant, the other grant you didn't get. What was that one?
Alert grant, we lost it. I'm not sure what happened there. So the alert training, I got noticed that it was canceled due to non-compliance.
See, I want to know why we did that. I don't want it to happen again.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, can you do? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I'm not on the agenda to speak, but, regarding salaries, there are a lot of people in our office who have extra training, and I think that should be rewarded. Like David, I sent him to the County Investment Academy, now he's a CIO. You know, and if you did, $25 a month or $50 a month, that would be nice. I'm just saying, in a lot of the other offices, their workers have a lot of training too, and that should be rewarded. Just saying.
Yeah, you weren't up here today.
No, I just.
No, I'm just saying, did we miss you or did you come at a different day?
I wasn't asking for anything else
Okay.
on my, not even that little extra, because I know we don't do that.
Yeah.
But if you approve it in the budget, then we can do that.
What about our missing grant money? What's up with that? Like everybody seems to shake your head, I don't know. Somebody knows something, Pat?
I have no idea. You know, Pat?
It's Senate Bill 22. I came before the Commissioners Court with the paperwork, explained about Senate Bill 22 coming in. It was told to me that applications have already been made, and I didn't need to worry about it. So I put it down. When I'm told to stay out of something, I stay out of it. And come to find out, the applications were made through the District Attorney's Office and County Attorney's Office. and nothing was done for the sheriff's department. When I found out that Phil King's office was contacting the sheriff, and that through the roundabout information that I got is that there was a back door to get back in on that grant. Got a hold of Phil King's office. Well, first I got a hold of the comptroller's office, and they said they were unaware of any additional avenues to get into that grant. So I called Phil King's office, and they said no, that what they had done is contacted the sheriff's office and was just curious why there was no application made, but that they had no way of working with the comptroller's office to get that pushed on through. I did ask them to put me into their particular system, so I'll have direct information, because I didn't receive information on this except for it being copied to me from someone else in the courthouse. Now I've got it on my calendar. Apparently we can pull the trigger on it August 1st to fill out the paperwork. I've got copies of the paperwork that was already submitted that was accepted, so that we can fast track it and get it through for the next round, which will be this fall. And what I understand is the same kind of program. And so I don't know what else to do about it. When I'm told stay out of something, there's other things to do.
Did you not tell me and Josie that I didn't qualify because they already got their $350,000?
No, sir.
Oh, you did not?
No, sir.
No, we'll talk to Josie when that happens.
Yeah.
And I'll assure you, any grants from my office will be taken care of by me from now on, nobody else. And what happened to the alert grant?
For travel,
All of it.
we had the alert training.
I got an email non-compliance.
Oh,
a few months ago.
that was for travel. And then we decided to have it locally, so we didn't need the travel fund.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Sheriff.
It's just aggravating, nobody really knows what
The reason we abandoned the alert grant for travel is because there was a complexity of trying to get the sheriff's deputies off duty enough and get them to travel and organize their hotel and so on and so forth to get it into the grant, that it was simpler to go ahead and have the training here, which we did. We had 2 sessions here. And so then we abandoned the grant application for doing the alert travel program. That's what that was all about. And with our sheriff's deputies not having to leave town and be unavailable, they could be called out of these meetings in the event of an emergency situation, having them local.
Understand now?
No, not really.
You got any other question?
I'm afraid to ask.
All right, so what's the plans? Tomorrow? We have stuff to know?
Everything for a while.
Not from the
Well, I'm
world.
talking about a lot of stuff that I agree needs to be done, but you gotta figure out how the heck you got to do it.
So I know,
Okay. We don't have a clue where we're at, but I don't think this year, I'm scared this year's gonna be harder than last year. In my mind, the way that,
What we're doing right now
we have,
is taking requests.
I know what I'm thinking ahead. I'm sorry, I can't help but think ahead.
Well, I understand that, but you've got to have your request. And then the way it's set up for us, and we have no control of, is we won't find out what kind of money we're gonna have until 1st of August, middle.
Yeah. Last week in July, that's right.
End of July, 1st of August. But you've got to have those requests
Oh, I understand.
beforehand.
I hear that.
And that's all we're doing.
I hear you about it. I mean, I can already see the writing on the wall.
Worrying too far in advance?
I just see the writing on the wall.
Commissioner Worthy?
You can already see the writing on the wall. It's gonna be tough even for the.
But there's nothing we can do about it until we see what we've got to work.
Okay, I'm gonna- I just,
And I don't know, I may be wrong, but I think at this point in the process, we've been a lot worse off than we are today.
Yes.
we don't have anything to fall back. Last year, we had stuff we could fall back on, we stuck some stuff over on our fund things with the money, we don't have this year.
Well, I know, but.
So we got some major things done with those funds, but that's not here.
Well, but we don't have those major things, we took care of those major
Well,
things.
no, because now they're talking about, they're already talking about software, and they're gonna insist on the new software, that's cost more than, you can't do it all. And
A million here, a million there, was it?
then lose a $500,000 or $250,000 here, $250,000 there, because somebody didn't sign a piece of paper, just aggravated. You check me out, and that's the way I feel about it, it's just,
You didn't lose $250,000. That's
a third. According to Josie, a third of it.
Well, and of course, he just said it was less than 100,000.
But she included pickups in there.
Well,
So somebody got to explain that to you.
it's, you get two people, and you being one of them, the sky's falling, and Josie's the sky's falling.
I'm just a realist. I'm a realist.
But you're more than a realist, but you're right.
What have I said that hadn't come true?
But you're right, it's.
What have I said that hadn't come
It's gonna be
true?
tied,
I mean, seriously.
it's gonna be tied. There needs to be, on any board or commission, there needs to always be one person that is the.
Thrifty?
Conservative.
Conservative? It's just, you know what?
Stingy. There we go. And you're right,
I'm not bragging, I'll be for 18 of these. They're good. I mean, you know what it's look like.
You're totally correct. Right now, all you're doing is listening to everybody's request. And so that way you're ready, the minute they give you those numbers, you're ready to.
We'll have to figure out how to do that. And I already included in my head, figured last year, this year would be harder than last year. We don't have that new money to go down for new problems. It's just gonna be hard. I'm not being negative, it's just facts are facts.
And you're exactly right, that the.
I'm facing reality is, now, instead of getting to the very end, go, how are we gonna do it now? Because I already realize it's gonna be tough, we think it's gonna be tough before we even start.
Yeah, and what most people don't understand, and y'all will get to appreciate this in the future, is that, you could, Elon Musk could build a new, Tesla plant that's worth $100 million, but we don't get to enjoy the tax revenue because we're limited on how much we can raise in new taxes. And so, that's what most people don't understand, is you're limited to a small, very, very small percentage year to year.
And then when you go out into the public, you're gonna hear all that fuss about the taxes. So I know you're gonna go out and vote for the deal, you're bidding for sheriff's department, it might get supported. If that's what you gotta do, the biggest complaint usually is raining in it. So like, also the tax rate, the property values going
We
up.
have to go to roll back to give people that poverty.
It's worth it.
We're just gonna have to go through.
You need to go, talk about no tax roll back.
And then you have,
Yeah.
have places like, whatever is wanting to get a countywide tax for a YMCA.
Maybe at the same day. The elections maybe at the same
They
day.
want us to do it. I'm all for YMCA. I'm all for putting it in as a tax burden.
Yes, you're legal.
He's out of here.
We're Drew, right?
Yes.
Are you adjourning?
Yeah, we're adjourning.
We're gonna make on this regular meeting. Is it regular meeting? We're gonna have a.
No, it's not a regular meeting.
Regular meeting.
Y'all are gonna meet on Monday, the 17th, and then you've scheduled a meeting on the 24th. So,
So we're gonna make Monday and Tuesday.
no, Monday and Monday. I think July 8th or something
The
like
St.
that.
James Baptiste Day.
Yeah, July 8th and 9th.
No.
I can get it to you, but then CPS moves all there, so.
I'll do it. Judge, if you want me to, I'll put one.